Jim Rajan. Am I saying that right? Jim Rajan.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. Yeah.
It's so beautiful to have this chat, and I'm so deeply grateful to you. Really, really grateful. Would you like to introduce yourself, Jim?
Yeah, so my name is Jim. I work with people all around the world as a distance healer and a teacher. And we work specifically with people of high sensitivity, people who are highly sensing. Yeah, and I'm really lucky. I'm really lucky that I get to work with people all around the world, and I have, various kind of channels where people find me, like Instagram and Insight Timer and things like this. But yeah, and I have to call myself a teacher, and I have to call myself a healer. But really, what I do is just provide a space for other people to find themselves and find their own way. Yeah.
Yeah, and you do such a beautiful job of that. And I always love it when your reel from you pops up on in my Instagram timeline because they're just so poetic and so beautiful, so intuitive. The first question is two-pronged, really. I would imagine that most people would know, the term HSP, highly sensitive person. I love how you say highly sensing person. For anyone that isn't familiar with what that term is, would you
Mm.
delve into that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's so much to it. I'm also ADHD. I'm also dyslexic. I've got tons of labels. I've had all the labels thrown on me. Um, Highly sensitive person is a person who's yeah. So let's get this clear. Let's go to the beginning. Everyone, all human beings are highly sensitive. Everyone has the capacity to sense highly into all kinds of things, whether it's sensing how someone else feels or the patterns, the natural order of things underneath life. This is not just a physical world. We know that. And the human being, the human instrument, has the capacity to really sense all kinds of things that are more than just the five senses. A stomach ache, that's a sense, a headache, the feeling of an empty stomach, feeling hungry, just to name a few more. Um, Proprioception, when the lights are off and yet you kind of know where everything is, that's a sense. Um, I prefer high sensing because high sensitivity has been kind of added to some kind of weakness, and it's given the idea that, oh, don't be so sensitive, be strong, man up, be a fighter, win, come on, everything's about winning and fighting in this world, and you have to be strong and powerful, especially if you're a man. And I wasn't that, and I got given, stop being so sensitive, so much, that eventually I came to a point where I didn't want to be sensitive and tried to man up and be strong and be competitive and try and win in the world, and it doesn't work, and it didn't work for me, and I don't see that it works for very few people, but the people that it does work for are the ones who numbed themselves to sensitivity and gave away the subtle qualities of life because they had to, because it was beaten out of them, because they were forced to compete, whatever the thing is. So it's no one's fault. There are people who have to go down a certain road because of life circumstance. That's fine, no problem at all. Um, what I did was embrace it and learn about it. And I spent years looking for teachers to teach me what it was or how I could use it, or how I could kind of create value in some way in the world with it. And I never found one. And what I did find is teachers who taught me, while they thought they were teaching me one thing, they were actually teaching me something completely different. And in a way that helped. So one day I just thought, I'm going to have to work this out myself. Um, and that's when I started doing the work I do.
Mm. And the labels thing, the boxes thing, like I gave myself all sorts of labels. I'm a depressive, I'm a narcoleptic, and so many more besides. and none of which are true. And the fact that I was able to come off antidepressants actually very quickly in 2020 after 20 odd years shows that that was a falsehood. The HSP thing is a label that I really struggle to let go of because I am a sensitive person. I am a deeply sensing person. Would you speak? I loved in your the workshop that I did of yours a few weeks back. You spoke about the sensitivity is simply a way of being.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a label, and yet, yeah. Would you speak to that? Because it is a kind of a label, but yeah.
Yeah, and there's this thing of sensitivity as a superpower.
Yes, which
Yeah,
I've said.
yeah, that you mentioned. And I mean, I have no idea if it is or not. And yet, I feel that the work of each of us is not, is to refine. Your work is to refine as you go through life, and refine your understanding of life. Each of us only gets maybe 80 or so years if we're lucky on this planet, and it goes really fast. And the competition and fighting and being the best in the one-upmanship way of life is all about, well, you're this because I'm this. I'm this, you're that. I'm good, you're wrong or bad. I'm black, you're white. I'm rich, you're poor. I'm better than you in some way or other. And so it's ingrained in our society in so many ways, so many ways. And when you allow yourself to shed and just release yourself from this need to define yourself and this need to be defined by, you know, go to a medical doctor and they define a set of symptoms 1,000 times in 1,000 different ways, narcolepsy, depression,
Mm.
you know, and it doesn't help. There are many wonderful old spiritual teachers who talk about how, if you sit and watch a bird and you don't know what it's called and you don't even know the word bird, it's this incredible thing and it's flying. How does it do that? But then if I call it a robin and I associate it with Christmas and it only comes out in winter or whenever it comes out, then I'm like, right, cool, I get it. It doesn't matter. It's not important anymore. It has no value because I've labeled it. No, I don't have to
Mm.
worry about it. I can carry on winning, and that's lost. Um, so I don't like high sensitivity. I don't mind it. I'm not an owner of words, and I do come across many people who need to be the owner of words, and I understand why they do it. But it's not for me. So,
Mm.
people can call me whatever they want. It's absolutely fine. It doesn't even touch the sides because I never ever work on myself because that's violent. And I specifically stopped being violent towards myself many years ago. And instead, I just work with myself. And in
Mm.
working with myself, I just slowly refine my experience of life as I go through life. I don't believe it's a life school. I don't think you're here to learn because that means you came in a state of lack anyway. You came wrong. You go to primary school and they're like, well, you're useless until we make you educated and then you're useful. That's not how this works. It's just a list
Mm.
of experiences. So you're just here to experience life and get it and understand humans and understand human nature as we were talking about earlier and allow new experiences to come to you. But if you've labeled yourself, oh well, I'm the kind of I can't do this or I can't do that or I'm a this or I'm a that, you're restricting the possibility of your experience.
Mm. Oh, and this is why I love your reels, Jim. It's just so powerful and so empowering to the human experience. And I would love anything to do with the nervous system, really has my heart because I know the importance of a regulated nervous system in order to truly shine and to thrive. In the awareness spaces or the healing spaces, we often hear the reminder, remember who you are. You're an infinite, powerful being. That's extraordinarily difficult if our nervous system is kind of in survival mode. And you spoke in just recently about that the mind is like a fox chasing its tail, looking for the solutions and the answers it will never find. And I think this was the key point for me, all the while stopping ourselves from taking short-term risks, because it's those little risks that are so important when we're kind of really trying to thrive and to put our magic out into the world. There is a question here. In I heard you say recently that the nervous system needs to feel its expansiveness and freedom. The nervous system needs to grasp the infinite. What does that mean, and how would that help us to really thrive and to be able to shine?
Okay, so we're talking about two things here. We're talking about the mind and we're talking about the nervous system. So
Right, okay,
let's
that's
do
my
nerve.
bad.
Yeah. So no, not at all. No, no. Just so that I'm clear, so I know where to go. Um, right, nervous system. So in our school, we call it the sensing body or the subtle bodies. So yeah, you've got a body. It's got skin and bones and muscles. You also have your nervous system. Um, there is many years ago, I was reading old kind of Hindu texts, and there is this idea that soul is this enormous thing that is kilometers or miles in diameter, in a way never ending, but closer to the center, much more kind of concentrated. So let's say soul is 2 miles in diameter in every direction, and it's got this tiny little human being in it in the middle. And it's not the other way around. It's not that your soul is in here, it's that you're in soul. And you can feel outside of your body. I can train you to do it. It's not difficult. The sensing bodies, the subtle bodies, go out for miles and miles and miles. How is it that I can do the work I do where I'm able to connect with someone that I've never spoken to or seen or even seen a photo of on the other side of the world in Australia, and I do their piece of work, and they come back and say, no one knew that I felt that way. No, it's not magic. It's the nervous system is not just this little thing inside your body that's there to either fight or flight or all of the other things it does. It's you can actually explore the world with your nervous system in the most wonderfully interesting ways. Okay, it's therefore the problem is the mind, and the mind's job is to stop you taking short-term risks. But there are no real risks in the modern world. There is no saber-toothed tiger. There is no kind of, you're not on the plains with a spear, like 50,000 years ago. So yeah, there are risks, of course, but the risks are social more than life-threatening nowadays. Um, so if you can find a way uh, to have a relationship with your mind that is different, where you, in a way, are able to sit in the space around the mind and kind of watch it, because you can't fight it, you can't stop yourself thinking. The mind is like a hard drive. Its job is to record everything, and it does. It records everything all the time. And so then, people talk about letting go. So you can't let go with the mind because it's recording everything all the time. Its job, it's like a hard drive. Why it can't let go of anything. But you can have a different relationship with your mind where you let it do its stuff and you let it think its however many thousands of thoughts a day, and it's absolutely fine. But you don't necessarily listen to it or engage with it. You sit in the space around it and take a different attitude towards how you're actually presenting yourself consciously in each moment. It's all about conscious awareness. It always goes back to Hinduism or Buddhism or whatever the thing is. Though the answers were all there, um, there is a wonderful quote that I used actually in our school the other day by the father of Rumi, whose name was Bahauddin Walad. And he wrote this amazing book that's really kind of hallucinogenic in its mysticism. And one line of it says, burn in presence. So, yeah, you can be present. You can have a level of presence where you're kind of, I'm here and I'm feeling everything and I'm noticing, I'm in the law of noticing and yeah. But to burn in presence you can take yourself to kind of a quality, not a level, because then it's all about status, but qualities of presence that are fascinating. And it's not to be better than anyone else. It's not about winning. I'm the most present person here. It's not none of that. But
Mm.
you can do it for the experience of it. And always when you do it, life kind of goes, ah, cool. Now that you're here, I've got this for you. And you're like, oh, right, wow, wonderful. And I've been trying really hard to get that, and life just gave it to me when I remembered to be here.
Mm.
Let me know
Oh, I
if
love
that
that
answers.
so much. So much. Because you mentioned the other week about we will say fling, and I'm so aware of words. This last few years I've come to such a deep understanding of how important our words are, and yet I know I'm still very capable of saying things like, oh, it's such a roller coaster, isn't it? This building your own business, it's such a roller coaster. What can you speak a little to that on how can we stop flinging around
Yes.
the big statements like that really do impact on how successful or not we might be.
Yeah, it's very easy to be violent to yourself because you've been trained to be violent to yourself because everyone is, because that's the nature of competition. And so we're all violent towards ourselves. And so we're castigating ourselves. Oh, no, I'm such an idiot. Why the hell did I do that thing? Or, oh, whatever the thing is. Um, and you could, as we were talking about earlier, just be nice to yourself. As we mentioned, it's impossible to love yourself, and you can try really hard, but it doesn't work. But you can be your best friend. You can actually be there for yourself instead of oh no, I'm such an idiot. Well, wait a minute, stop. Why are you calling yourself an idiot? Only because there can only you're the idiot if somebody isn't the idiot. Therefore, there's some kind of comparing going on, some kind of comparison. I'm comparing myself to someone else and losing. Right. Okay. Well, first of all, that person, let them do their life. It's fine. They're not important. Um, because no one is important. Because nothing matters, really, apart from the meaning that you decide to bring to life. So maybe I could just spend some time being gentle with myself. I mean, I've got my practices I do every day that I have to do to just stay sane. But one of them is just sitting quietly with myself each morning before anyone else wakes up, in the dark with a candle, and just, how am I? Am I all right? Am I even all right? No, actually I'm not. I'm going back to bed. Or yeah, okay, I'm in an interesting place. I need to write this down. And that thing that happened yesterday, that was really unfair. That was really harsh of that person. Okay, well, maybe I need to let some of it go, or maybe I need to write or journal about it, or maybe I need to paint or draw something that helps me evolve it. Healing. What is healing? We're all like, healing, I need to be healed. I don't think people need to be healed. I don't think that those wounds are still open. Yeah, horrid stuff happened to you. Horrid stuff happened to me. It's not happening again right now. So we often, and I know no one likes to hear this, but we often drag up that pain so that we can use it in some way right now to um, manipulate some kind of situation towards our favor. I'm a shy person. I'm shy. I'm shy, so I can't do this or I can't do that. No one's a shy person. You're not shy with your mum, are you? No. So no, you're shy in certain situations in a way when it helps you to not have to do a certain thing. So let's be
Yeah.
honest. Therefore, healing is really just change. It's just evolving. It's you just going, all right, I'm in this thing called life and it's fascinating and there's some really painful stuff in it, but I kind of understood this thing today that's taken me 20 years to understand and I get it now. And then life goes, hold on, Jim got that one. Okay, give him the next thing. No, and you're like, oh, and then something else comes because you're ready because you kind of moved on. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I accept that. I understand. All right, brilliant, wonderful. And life or God or whatever you want to call it universe, spirit, source, doesn't matter what the word is, something, it's probably just you, is there going, it's time for the next experience. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's fantastic. I heard a fantastic quote by a holistic coach just recently, a holistic doctor. She said, if you dosed or nurtured your discomfort like you do distraction, your life would change.
Mm.
And that's fantastic. I love all of that, Jim. I'm so aware of your time. So, final question. One of your one of your recent posts was really powerful on the psychic attack. I think if we're highly sensing beings, we've all known that feeling of walking away from a situation and feeling we've lost, the power has been drained from us. And that can be in any kind of family or friendship dynamic, perhaps a social gathering, or even the work environment. Hey, but what I particularly found powerful in that was that you spoke about the old way, the victim way, which certainly my life was one of kind of very learned helplessness, very learned hopelessness, was to see it as how can we protect ourselves, whereas perhaps the new way let me see if I can find the quote. You said feeling into no, where is it? Oh, where did I wrote down something that you said. Let me find it. It was feel your essence so vast, so full, there simply isn't any space for anything that is not on a par with your power. How do we feel our essence as being vast?
Yeah. Um, I mean, psychic attack is a very real thing, and I don't know if I'm not very good with the word energy. Bad energy, good energy, and all these things. It's not really my thing. I'm a bit too rational, but yes, I've seen psychic attack firsthand in all kinds of ways. So I'm a victim. Something is attacking me. Something is happening at me. Well, I've got lots of choices, but if I'm a victim, I don't have a lot of choices. If I'm a victim, all I can kind of do is close in and protect, because that's really what a victim is doing. A victim is protecting something. No? Um, so we have a piece of work called force field power station. So when you protect yourself, what you're kind of doing is, and I remember being trained in this when I was in my early 20s, you put up a force field, you put like an egg around yourself so that whatever that horrid nasty thing is, it can't get it, it can't hurt me. But if I don't put that force field up, it will hurt me. And putting up a force field is exhausting and you can't maintain it for very long. And I've tried. So we kind of sat with that for a long time. And again, if soul is this huge, enormous thing with a little human being inside of it, then maybe I can create a relationship with whatever that is, whatever soul is, whatever essence is. And instead of putting up a force field, I can allow myself to be a power station. And I know the word power is a bit masculine and fighty, and I don't really like it very much, but there isn't really another word. Um, where you're a generator, you actually just generate energy, and you can do it, and it changes so many things. Simply you registering that your energetic space, being, field, whatever you want to call it, um, is able to just emit in every direction and fill the room. And not just fill the room, but then feel what's going on in the room. Your nervous system, yeah, of course, it's inside your body, but it's also outside of your body. Like, you can be trained quite easily to feel outside of your body. It's not difficult. The problem, of course, is the mind getting in the way, going, oh, no, I can't really do that. Or is that really even a thing? The mind is always questioning everything because it wants you to not um, go outside of your comfort zone. So yeah, with psychic attack and the thing of make yourself so vast, not. But then the mind would go, oh, but then I'd spread myself really thin. If I make myself vast, there's only this me, and it's physical. If I make myself vast, I spread myself thin, and then they get to really attack me, again is the mind. But that's not the case. Uh, you as an essential being, as a being of essence, and I know there are people who will hear that, and they'll just be like, "Well, he's talking rubbish. What the hell does that even mean? No, I'm just a physical body and a mind, and that's it." Yeah, yeah. And if you feel that way, that's perfect. But there are those of us who feel that there are other ways of living this life experience, and if you allow yourself to exude or emit, but emit has the kind of connotation of emitting towards something. But if you allow energy to just expand out in all directions from you, you get a completely different experience.
Mm.
And it's not that it's a better experience or more powerful or more spiritual, or I think the word spirit gets used a lot and overused, and it's kind of has again the word connotation. It has the connotation of spirit is something outside of us, but you're a like they used to say, my grandma used to say, oh, he's got spirit, which means he's got life force, there's a bit of gusto, there's a bit of power in that one. That's spirit. And it's
Mm.
that you can allow to peter out in all directions, in the right way, in a gentle, kind way, as long as the story that you're telling yourself at the center comes from a place of full instead of empty. Because if it comes from a place of empty, then yeah, I'm going to be spreading myself too thin, and then they'll attack me, then they'll have power over me again, then I'll be a victim again. So the real work with force field power station is to deliver yourself to a different story.
Mm. It feels more empowering, but what's interesting when you're describing that is it actually feels a lot more gentle than doing the whole kind of protective, protect your energy,
Yeah.
line, really a lot more subtle. Oh, which is a wonderful segue into you telling us about your school, and I'm going to put all of I'll kind of do all of the links in the show notes. But would you like to tell us about your school and anything else, Jim?
Yeah, sure. So we have a school where we do a 1 year course, and we've got people all over the world doing our course. There's people in Germany and Holland and Ireland and the States, and the majority of my clients are in the States and Canada. And it's a specific amount of people, and we come together each month and do all kinds of work, and the people get homework, and it lasts for a year. Um, and at the end of the year, we all come together. I live in Madrid in Spain, and we all come together here to really integrate the work, and cement the group, because a really important part of the group is the 12 people who do the work, and the building of relationships and friendships and feeling like belonging to a group of 12 highly sensitive people, plus me, plus Jen, who helps me, 14. And it makes for a really wholesome, it's like doing a master's in yourself for a year, and we never really give ourselves a chance to do that. We're always learning this thing or that thing, or trying to better ourselves in this or whatever. And there's all kinds of work we do, and we go to really deep places, and it's not painful, but it's revealing. And to do a master's in oneself is really learning about oneself and learning about giving yourself choices and opening yourself to life in all kinds of wonderful ways, but in a gentle way where you don't feel vulnerable, where you don't feel attacked. And yeah, and it's about the dignity of life, and it's about honor. And so, I mean, as I was saying to you when we were talking earlier, we had our module this weekend, and I'm exhausted today from holding that space with those 12 people, because it's not, and it can't be, because modern education just doesn't work. It's not about telling 12 people to receive the information and go and follow one path. What we do is we listen to 12 people and we follow 12 people's paths for a year, and give them whatever they need and support them in everything that they need and encourage along the way. And of course, all of the people encourage each other, and it's a really beautiful thing. I've had people who have asked if they can come in late. We always start every year in October, and it's always 12 people. I had someone in Peru asking, yeah, and someone in Germany if they could start now. And it's like, no, this is such a special thing, and something that we really care for, that you can't just come in halfway through. It's not about information. Anyone can sit and give information. Or there are so many teachers in the modern world, and look at education nowadays. It's a disaster. It's just
Yeah.
it's just the delivery of information, and we're all in the information age. And show me one person that actually um, gains something from all the information. No, all we're doing is we're just being trained to be addicted to information, and we get one piece and then we're bored of it, and then we need another piece, which is all dopamine based
Mm.
living. So yeah, so our course, and we give, it's we give workshops throughout the year so people know how we work and what it feels like, and what it feels like to work with us. And then there are, of course, there are people who come and do the course. Um, and it's something that I didn't sit down and go, right, how can we help 12 highly sensitive people better themselves? What I did was I spent a year getting Jim out of the way again and again and again and again, and the course made itself, if that makes sense. And yeah, and I feel really honored and really lucky that, people signed up and they want to be a part of something that's essentially an exploration that 12 people go on. So I'm probably talking too much. But
No, not at all.
yeah,
Goodness me, Jim.
yeah. So yeah, I feel really lucky to be able to do something like that, and was very lucky to be asked. Yeah.
And I feel emotion when you're talking about it. I feel quite emotional talking about it. And I wouldn't, how wonderful would it be if they get you, Jim, to come in and bring your school to the curriculum, in various schools? How phenomenal would that be? Learning these things from such
Yeah.
a tender age.
Yeah, I mean, because I went to school in England, and I passed my 11 plus, so I went to a grammar school, and I was out of my depth, and it was very academic, and I'm not academic at all. And I really had so much. I don't think I believe in self-esteem. I think it's an invented thing, but I was made to feel bad about myself a lot, a lot, a lot, and it took me a long time to kind of retrieve myself and pull myself out of that pit, and allow myself to be what I am. I have a daughter, and I talk to her a lot, and I do my best to help her do these things as well. And I have a friend here he's an eminence in non-violent communication, and we've talked about starting a school, but it's very, very difficult. It's really difficult. It's a bit like world peace. It's a great idea. Politicians talk about it all the time. No one ever actually bothers doing it, but you can do it with the person in front of you. So that's what I do. That's why I have the Instagram channel, because I'm just bringing world peace in the way that I see it to the person in front of me. And
Mm.
that's the best way.
Oh, oh, Jim, I'm so grateful. I'm so, so grateful for our chat. It's been so beautiful.
Mm.
And I wish you a beautiful, restful, festive season.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, same to you. And anything you need from me, if you want to have another chat, I love doing things like this. I love talking. So yeah, just
Oh,
let me know.
so grateful. I'm going to put all your links as well in the notes. Thank you, Jim.
Thank
Bless
you,
you.
Susan. My pleasure.